Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the January 2025 meeting of the Houston County Historical Society. If you would, please silence your phones. There was a sign-in sheet going around. If you, everybody signed in. If anybody has not signed in, Leah has that sheet for you to sign in.
How you doing?
All right. All right.
So far, so good.
I had signed.
We will have the pledge.
I had signed.
We pledge to the flag led by Mr. Howard Spurgeon, if you would rise.
I got it.
Okay.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Minutes. Did everybody receive their minutes? Are there any corrections, additions, deletions? Okay. If no change, we will deem the minutes approved. Treasurer's report, Leah, are you about ready?
Sorry, I just put it away.
Okay.
For December, we had income of $110.98, and we had expenses of $110.05. So we have a balance in our checking account of $1,575.44. Our CD remains unchanged at $11,041.74. And I took a look at how we did last year versus, and we had a net loss last year of $250. So we did okay.
Okay, thank you. Any additions, corrections
Questions?
on her minutes, or is there a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Leah, thank you. Mayor Brake, if you will sign in, or
Oh.
I've got to do that before I do
Oh, yeah.
that. Are you ready to swear in the members
Yes, ma'am.
and the board of directors?
Yes, ma'am. I'll do the officer first. Is that correct?
Yes, if you will, and you may step down.
That's fine. Need Miss Stanfield and Miss Baggett. First of all, congratulations on your two president and treasurer. And if you would, you have been elected by the Houston County Historical Society to serve as an officer of this organization for the year of 2025 to the best of your ability. Will you promise to fulfill these duties of the office of which you have been elected, as those duties are presented in the bylaws of this organization? Respond by stating, I will.
I will.
Congratulations. It's always short and sweet. Next, Board of Directors, I need Mr. Booker, Mr. Lowe, Ms. Bateman, Ms. French, and Mr. Osbrooks. Congratulations to y'all for being elected as the Board of Directors. You have been elected by the Houston County Historical Society to serve on the Board of Directors for 2025. Will you promise to fulfill your responsibility as a board member, attend meetings whenever possible, contribute your ideas and talents to fulfill the purpose of the Houston County Historical Society as laid out in the bylaws of this organization? Respond by stating, I will.
I will.
Congratulations.
We'll have Mayor Brake come back and give us our program in just a moment. Wanted to remind you too, the dues are $10 per year per household or $50 per lifetime per household. If you're uncertain whether a Lifetime member, Leah has the sheet and would gladly take your money for the 2025 year. If you're receiving the minutes by mail and you have an email, please allow us to send the minutes by email to decrease the cost to the society. We do thank you for that. Please note in the minutes the maps for sale that are listed for the cemetery. They're only going to be available on special order if then. And we are not sure of the cost. We're not 100% sure that those maps will be available. But if you happen to be at the Nave Funeral Home, they have a very good copy of the map hanging in one of the rooms, and it's framed and looks very, very nice. The Board of Directors meeting, we discussed the upcoming programs. We still have about 4 slots for those months of May, July, September, and October. We have some possibilities for those months, but if you have a program you'd like to present, we would love to have you. Just let us know. Melissa, her archives report, Melissa is absent today, and I'm running the new business and the old business together, but in the old business, we need an update on the Korean and the Vietnam Veterans Project. Donald, could you give us an update on that?
Yeah, we appreciate all the help we've had to this point. Leah has given us a list of about 700 veterans. Sandra Baggett gave us files on between 40, probably about 45 veterans that she'd accumulated information sheets and like that. We have gone back through a lot of the old papers and stuff, and about how many newspaper clippings, Jackie? 500 or 600? About 500 or 600, you know, where they'd have a little snippet that so-and-so was on this ship and everything with it. But we've gone back through the Stewart Houston County Times. We just need everybody, if they know a veteran from the end of World War II through April, May of '75, if they will contact us and stuff, because we need their information. It's not like World War II. We can't find it online. So we need everybody's help on that. They can help
We'd
us
like to
out.
have a service picture if that's available. That would be great.
A picture and whatever information that they would furnish and everything. We'd appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Any other old business or new business anybody would like to bring up tonight? Well, then our new business would be Mayor Blake. I'll turn the program over to you.
One thing for sure, I'm not a good speaker, so I'll do the best I can, all right? Would like to ask Mr. Bateman if he would say a blessing, please, before we start.
Okay. Our Father, please bless this organization. Bless Mayor Brake, our country, state, national leaders, and please add a special blessing to the people in East Tennessee, North Carolina, and California, the military, the utility workers, and first responders. Guide and direct us and help us to do your will in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
And if you're a veteran tonight, please stand. I'd like to recognize a veteran in the county. We're blessed with who we got, what we got, what you've done. Our veterans are pretty important to this county. They're pretty important to the whole country. We don't know, some of these people that are out protesting against the military and stuff, they only have that right because somebody paid the price to do it. So they need to think about that next time they do it. Getting on Houston County, there's not a lot to tell about us. We're small, but we are blessed with what we got. Seems like if you were playing cards, it seems like for us, all the cards has kind of been falling in the right places for us. It could change. It could change overnight. But I'm blessed. I'm nothing, I'm just a human, that's all. I'm blessed with the commission I got. They, sometimes I wanna pull their hair, and sometimes they wanna pull mine. But, we are blessed with the commissioners, somebody to serve the county. It's not an easy job. When everything's rolling along good, it's great, but sometimes there's tough decisions to be made, and a lot of times the stories get out in town, and it happens everywhere, but it seems like a small areas, but people start telling the story, but they tell a story, but they don't tell the whole story. There is a story, and then there's a whole story, so I urge them to reach to the commissioners and ask them before they go to putting them down or putting the county down. I think a lot of decisions we make are, sometimes they're pretty fast. We have to make them pretty fast, but I think they thoroughly think them through, or they sure try. And like I say, I am blessed to have 14 commissioners. I was one of them one time, and I used to get pretty antsy and get nervous, and sometimes Mr. Howard, he'd hit me in the side and tell me that everything's all right, Joe, you'll be okay. Just think it through. If I voted, I've had a vote or two in my lifetime that I had to really think about the vote. My conscience wanted me to vote one way, but the real way to vote, the Constitution, was to vote this other way. And I think as long as you vote with what the U.S. Constitution says in your county, I think you'll be okay, whether some people like it or not. I think you'll be all right. But starting on our county, I sure don't want to brag, but I do brag on things that we have accomplished. We've been blessed from one end of the county to the other. We still got low taxes. Our land values are cheaper than a lot of counties around. If some people say, well, you got $2.77 tax, your tax rate's at, or 177, but you know, if this piece of land was in Montgomery County, even if it was 177, you'd be paying a lot more taxes because your land value would be more. So, and our land values have went up quite a bit, as you all know, and we got a lot of people moving in to the county from all over the country, and that's good. I don't care where you're from. I'm all for anybody wanting to move here. I want to see the county grow. I don't want metropolitan. I don't think we're big enough for having metropolitan Nashville. We don't need that. But you're going to see some changes in growth here. We already have. Already have a lot. And there's going to be more. As long as there's land available, somebody's going to move here. And I do look at the wildfires going on in California. I think some of those people are coming this way. They're going to get their money. Hopefully they get their money for what they lost, and I figure they're going to come this way. And more power to them. I hope they come here knowing this is Tennessee. This is not anywhere else but Tennessee. This is here in Tennessee. And are we always right with what we do? Maybe not, but we're not always wrong either. And a lot of times when people come in, they left somewhere because they really didn't like it. But then when they come here, if you're not doing that, then they don't like that neither. So, but most of them are good people. I've met a lot of them, and I'm looking at one right here. He's a good dude. Seriously. Look at Mike and
What's his name?
I went blank. I can't even think of your name. Lisa. They moved here. They're both Marines. Hey, my wife's father was 30-year special forces in the military, and I think Lisa and Mike, and I don't want to toot my horn about y'all, but they've done well in the community. They're involved in this community. And that's what you want. I mean, you want those people. They have good ideas too. I mean, but those are the kind of people you want involved in your community. There's a lot of people, I mean, it's easy to sit back and talk about what you'll do or what everybody needs to do, but when you got somebody that's hands-on, that's worth more to you than anything. And I do appreciate them. Seriously, they are good people. I mean, super good people. But getting back to the county, I mean, we started at Danville. We got a lot going on at Danville. I mean, the lake, a lot of things I really can't talk about, but I mean, there is, if you looked at the paper today, there's actually an advertisement in the paper for people to bid on the park down there, to run the park. So it's in there, it'll be in there for 2 weeks. We will take resumes and their plans and what they're planning on doing, and it'll go before our tourism committee, and they will narrow it down to 2 people, and then the commission will pick somebody to operate our Danville store and our park down there. There's a busy place. It's a busy place, especially in the summertime. It's just always busy. A lot of people, if you drive down there on the weekend or during the week, just look at the license plates. That's all you got to do. There's a few from Houston County, but most of them, Davidson, Sumner, everywhere else. They come a long ways to come down here to fish or camp or whatever. A lot of people, they like to get, I mean, a lot of people's in these big cities, bigger cities, I call them, on the fast-paced lane all the time. They like getting out in the quiet. And that's one thing we do have, is some quiet. So there is a lot going on down there, and a lot more going to be going on by spring. You'll see some changes. But moving back this way, last year at this time we were trying to get the National Guard, Army, and we have not paid for it yet, but we have got it. It is Houston County's, unless we tell them we don't want it, but I don't think the commission's going to say they don't want it. We got a lot of plans for the Armory. We got a senior citizens up here. It's probably one of the worst facilities in the county, but they're definitely going there. They're the first ones going to the Armory. They need a better place. But we've got a lot of things we're going to move in there. We're going to move archives in there. We're going to move our veterans over there, a better facility for them. We got our, like I said, our archives, but we're going to make it it's going to be more of a, it's not just for those, it's for the county. I mean, the big room's going to be for health and for anybody. Anybody wants to use it. I mean, that's what it's for. I mean, it's Houston County. It's not one person's building. It's not my building or anybody else's, but it's everybody's building. But we were blessed to get funding to pay for it. We did not have to borrow the money. We were a little worried we might have to borrow the money to pay for it, but we had the disaster of 21. They actually came to my office and told me that they would like to give us $1 million to pay for it, and with no match. So I told them I didn't even have to call the commissioners. I said, I think we'll do that. But I've not got the money from them, but I've actually spoke to them yesterday, and the money's there, and then we just got to do a little government paperwork to get it. But they were hoping by the end of January we'd have the money to pay for it, but it's probably going to be in February. But as soon as we pay for it, we will take control of it. We've already been approved, we've already got grant money approved to do the remodeling inside of it. We've already got that money, and it's just, we're just sitting there waiting to get it. We can't do anything till we actually sign the paper saying it's ours. And we dealt with the military, Colonel Milligan and Colonel Nance, and they were super good to us, and they've been good to us. And if you've been in the military, and you know, things don't go as fast as they should sometimes. They have a lot of committees to go through. He told us the day we talked to him about it, and we actually agreed on a price, that they have 17 committees they have to go through to get it approved. But he said, I promise you, they won't have a problem with approving them. There's just the steps we have to go through to do it. So we're okay with that. We'll wait, but we are. I'm anxious to get it and get going on it. I think it's going to be a great asset for the county. After we got it, I know there was another. After we agreed to get it, about 2 weeks after that, somebody else came in there and tried to get it. So they didn't let them have it. So I feel like we're good. But moving down this way from the Armory, we got a courthouse. We had actually applied for a grant. We had a lady from GNRC. We actually became good friends with these people, and GNRC is actually Greater Nashville Regional Council is what it is, but Houston County is a part of that. There was like 13 or 14 counties that's involved in it, but you know, some people might say it's not good, but look here, if you're playing ball, you want the best player you can have on your team. If I'm picking my team, I want the best players I can get. And GNRC has really been good to Houston County. They have done a lot for us. And the girl told us, she said, we've got a grant opportunity coming up that we think that we could get you your courthouse expansion, because we're out of room. I mean, our courthouse is out of room. We've outgrown ourselves. And I said, I'd love to have. I said, how much money are we talking about? She said, well, you could get 200,000, you could get 2 million. She said, 2 million is a max. I said, well, we'll take all we can get. So she actually, the girl from GNRC actually wrote the grant and helped us. And about, I guess probably a month and a half, 2 months later, she sent me an email and said, you've been approved, y'all got $2 million. So we're going to do you'll see some changes at our courthouse coming up. We're actually scheduled to bid the job out. Rye Engineering is our engineer doing it. He's scheduled to bid it out probably March or April. He says we'll probably be doing work by July. So you're going to see some changes. Our courthouse is actually going to grow. We're going to add like 26 feet to the west end. We actually wanted to go to the east end, but there was just a lot of barriers that was holding us up there. So we actually decided to go where the monument's at. But we're not going all the way to the monument, but there's going to be some changes there. We're going to go 26 feet. We're going to go all the way down to the basement, all the way up to the top. And that's going to give our courthouse a chance to actually get a little more room, especially in Ms. Vinson's office, Mr. Brown's, my office, down basement. We can make some good smart decisions and grow our courthouse to meet our needs. But we actually got this grant, and we got it at a 10% match. It was actually 20%, And I don't know what happened, but, we ended up getting it for 10. So it cost the county $200,000, but I'll take 200,000 for 2 million any day they want to give it to us, as long as we're able to take care of it. And we're in good enough shape, we can take care of it. But it's hard to, I actually met with the architect last Thursday, we did, and he showed us, our commissioners, I think, have seen it all, but it's a little bit of tweaking to it, but we're probably gonna add some parking spots out there. If you pull down beside the courthouse, there's really not a lot of parking, especially on court day. But we're gonna add about 8 parking spots there where the monument stuff sits, but we're gonna move our monument over here, and it's gonna be better, than what it is. We're gonna have it on a concrete pad, and it'll be more of a level spot, but they're gonna make us 8 parking spots there on the grass. So 2 handicap and 6 other parking spots, and 6 parking spots, some people say, well, that's not very much, that's not a lot. But I've seen a few mornings I come in there, I wish I could have found 1, let alone 6, but, I think, is it gonna be a headache? Yeah, probably at times. I actually met with the architect and I asked him, we were actually worried about having to move some of our offices out of the courthouse during the construction, and he told me the other day, he said, I don't think you'll have to move anybody. He said, now I will say this. He said, you may have to shut the courthouse down for a couple of days while I'm doing some work. So if you hear somebody talking, well, they shut the courthouse down, well, it's a reason. I promise you, we don't shut down for no reason, but Robert Brown's office is one of the busiest offices in the courthouse, and to move him is extremely expensive. He has so much electronic stuff. So I was blessed to hear that when they said we wouldn't have to move. Because I was already worried about, we got a place to put Robert, yes we do. But the expense is a lot. I mean, we're not talking $10,000, we're probably talking at least 100 or more to move him. So I was tickled to death when they said we wouldn't have to move. But that is, you'll see a lot of changes in the courthouse, but the architect did tell me that he's actually getting the walls are going to look just like the courthouse now. He's getting them fabricated from a company out of Cheatham County over at Ashland City. They're going to actually build the walls and ship them in already made, prefab. So you won't really see any changes of what it looks like from the outside. You're going to see a lot on the inside. But it's kind of hard to understand, but when you pull in out there where the grass is now, when they get done, you're just going to walk straight in the courthouse. There won't be any steps there. The steps will be gone. You'll either walk straight in or you'll come around the elevator and come up. But it looks good on paper. It may be terrible when we get it done, but I don't think so. I think it'll be good. And we are getting a new clock. When it works. That clock is a headache, but it'll work for a little while and then it'll quit again. So, but I told them when we got the grant, I said, I want a new clock. If we don't do nothing else, get us a new clock. So he's promised we will have a new clock. But after that, we look at our convenience center and stuff, and I tell everybody likes to talk trash. So, but convenience center is probably one of the worst headaches a mayor could have, and I will actually say that. It is, especially in a small county, we are so dependent on Montgomery County, and we're blessed to have Montgomery County because they take care of all of our trash for us. They could call us tomorrow and tell us we got 30 days. And they wouldn't be picking it up anymore, and we'd have to go somewhere else. So we're actually pretty blessed there, and our convenience center is doing well. We've actually applied for a grant, and we actually got it. It was a 90% grant. We've actually got a new Bobcat. It's a skid steer, and we will have it probably in a couple of weeks. We're just waiting on our commission to meet in January, and we have to vote on it. And as soon as they vote on it, we're going to get it. We're going to tell them to bring it on. So that will be a big help for us up there. We need something else to move equipment. I mean, to move stuff with, move boxes with, and trash is actually we're getting more trash than we were, and it's just because, it's not a lot more, but it is more because there's more people in the county. But trash is something that's never gonna go away. It's gonna be, I guess, to the end of time. But to be frank, it's the guys that work up there, I know sometimes that they get aggravated, and probably people get aggravated too. But there is a reason why we do things. It's like when we took over, there was 9,000 tires up there. 9,000 tires laying on the ground, and that's not a hearsay, because I know we cut every one of them. We cut every tire up there. We didn't haul any off. We cut them. I mean, the thing about the tires, Montgomery County will take every tire you'll bring them, but they're going to charge you $10 every tire you put in there. But if you'll cut them in half, they'll take them with regular trash. So it's a big savings. I mean, if we'd have sent 9,000 tires to the landfill, it would have cost us $90,000. So we cut them, and we probably got them sent up there for about $12,000. So, but we had to cut them. The state was actually on, they were actually on the commission and me, and even before, they said, we got these tires that's gonna leave. One way or another, you're gonna get rid of them. So we were blessed to get a tire cutter and cut them. The only issue we've had with our tire cutter, we can't cut a semi-tire. We have cut some, but our cutter is not big enough to cut them. So we've actually, as of now, we're not taking semi-tires. We will take regular tires from our people, but the semi-tires, if we have to haul them off, they're like $20 a piece from Montgomery County. So it's too much of an expense. So we hate not to take them, but it's not right to you, anybody else that doesn't have a semi, to pay taxes to haul a tire off. So we're trying to be fair to everybody, because everybody, you know, when I hear people say all the time, you know, I pay taxes, yeah, I do too. But I can tell you one thing that I do know about Houston County for sure, and you can check me on it. We're the only county around that does not charge for trash. The only county. I don't care where you go, there is a charge anywhere you go, because I was actually in a meeting not long ago, and I think there's 3 counties in the state of Tennessee that does not charge. Everybody else has a fee. And it's coming here. I don't know when, but there is going to be a charge someday. I don't, it may be 3 years from now, maybe 4 years. I don't see it happening this year. We have actually saved enough money at our convenience center where we don't have to, and we're trying to keep it free for trash. But eventually it's going to change. It costs a lot of money to run the convenience center. It costs us over $500,000 a year, the county. So when we came in, it was like $640,000 to operate. We're running it for about $520 now. So, but eventually, as trash keeps coming, there's going to be a charge to run the convenience center. About 5 years ago, I wasn't on the convenience center committee, but they had pondered 2 or 3 things to try to get a fee, but the electric company, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't put the fee on the bill, and I don't think the water department wanted to neither. So we never could really come up with a good way to collect. I mean, if you're gonna try to collect 300,000, you don't wanna pay somebody 100,000 to collect it for you. That kind of defeats the purpose of trying to, you're collecting money trying to offset your costs. You're not trying to create two or three more jobs for somebody and pay them a third of it to collect it. So they didn't do it, or we didn't do it. So I'm speaking probably out of term because the commissioners will be the ones to make a decision, but I don't see the commissioners charging for garbage this year. Eventually, it's gonna happen someday, so the Facebook people can get ready, so they can start crying. But I will tell you this, I do know this, you go to any other county, you'll pay. You will pay. Montgomery County, if you go there, they're gonna weigh you, you're gonna pay when you leave. So we've had it good, had it free for years, and I don't see it lasting, because I do know that our numbers are actually a little higher now than they were last year on collecting garbage. And these guys do a pretty good job of checking. We're actually not supposed to take any garbage from other counties. Does somebody slip by? Absolutely. Sometimes, but now these guys do pretty good. I've actually seen people in the courthouse come to my office that had a Stewart County or a Humphreys County tag, but if you own property in Houston County, you can dump your garbage. Well, I know a couple of times these guys wouldn't let them dump. They had to come get their plaque from the courthouse to prove that they own land, and they're doing their job. I mean, I know it's a headache, but these guys are doing their job. And that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to question it. And I fully back them up on questioning. I do, 100%. I didn't write any notes down tonight, and I don't want to bore you, but I stole a couple of cheat sheets from Mr. Howard here from our last meeting. It's nothing he wrote down, it's just some stuff we had went over in December, but to get back, I mean, the first time in history of our county, Houston County got an impact payment from TVA because of our coal-fired plant shutting down. And I guess it's been about a month and a half probably, and I got a phone call that, did you get your impact payment yet? And I said, no, not yet. I was kind of playing dumb because I didn't know nothing about it, because they hadn't said anything. So he said, yeah, he said, you're getting the impact payment. Stewart County and you and Henry County, y'all three counties are getting the impact payment. He said, be looking in the morning. So I went to Jimmy Lowry's office the next morning. He said, you know, it came in. He said, I said, it wasn't much, was it? He said, no, not a whole lot. But he said, if we can, we got $787,000 from TVA. So I got to doing some more checking on it. But Houston County, because of the job loss and stuff, it is going to impact this county. When TVA is gone, this coal-fired plant, you're going to see, I mean, it's going to impact our county some. But we're going to get this payment, it looks like, for about 3 years. And that's a big deal for us, for that kind of money to come to the county. And even after the coal-fired plant is built, I mean, the new gas plant is built, which they're working on it now, we will get some more payments after that. We will still get a full 787, but then it'll start declining. I know Paradise Plant in Kentucky, they actually got 12 payments when they lost theirs. So, which I actually talked to the mayor there too, and he told me, I asked him what kind of impact did it have. I said, what kind of impact when you lost the coal-fired plant did it have on your county? He said, well, all I can tell you is this. He said, whatever you think the impact will be, he said, you multiply that times 10. He said, that's what it done to our county. He said, it dried it up. Which, if you know where Drakesboro, Kentucky is, it's kind of out in the country, probably maybe a little more than we are. Yeah. But it really hurt that area when they lost that plant. And it will hurt us. You're talking about 250 jobs that probably average $100,000 a year, you take that out of your economy and replace it with 40, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. But the gas, we got a gas line that it's going to be run from Dixon to Cumberland City to produce. They've got a 1,400 megawatt. They're going to replace one unit with 1,400 megawatts of gas. Well, they're actually in a lawsuit right now. The gas line is on hold. I actually talked to the people from the gas line, and it was actually supposed to start in October. Well, I called him right after the first year, and I said, where's, I knew they were going to Washington in December the 9th, they had to go to Washington over the lawsuit. So he told me last week, or right after first year, he said, we're still hung up on this lawsuit. He said, we're probably going to be July or August getting started. Hopefully we can. And they were actually supposed to be done with this project by the end of August. So that's going to put a hurt on it. I mean, a setback on the gas, which I told him that day. I said, you know, if I could protest and stop this coal plant from being shut down, I'd be down on the road today, because I don't want to see the coal plant leave. I'm 100% coal. But Unit 2 was actually supposed to come offline in December of this year, but I don't see it happening. I think it's going to this lawsuit is going to buy Unit 2 some time. The plan was 26 and 28, 26 for Unit 2 and 28 for Unit 1. I am in pretty good contact with TVA. I did work there for a while, but I do talk to the vice president of coal and pretty regular, but he has told me, he's assured me that they will not take those units off until they got it replaced. He said, we are so close with megawatts in the valley that we cannot take a unit off without replacing it. So until this gas line gets over here, and I mean, even when the gas line gets here, you're looking at, and Mr. Lowe could probably, you're probably looking at 60 days on just making sure everything's good before you even make a megawatt with it. They're going to have to pressure test all this stuff, and so I think we'll be lucky if it's on by the middle end of 26 myself, which that's fine with me as long as both them coal smokestacks are smoking. I'm happy. At least I know them jobs are still there. But actually the gas company, the people that are putting the line in, has actually been pretty good to our county. They've actually promised some of our nonprofits some money, a little bit, not a lot, $2,500 a piece or $5,000 a piece, but we're not going to get that until they start the line. So, but we've been assured in the contract that we will get that money, and they actually paid us some money to cross in our industrial park. So the county got some money. We've got part of that money already. So sometimes business is not easy all the time, but if you think things through, I think everything's good on that part.
Joey, are they going to dismantle all or part of the old plant equipment when the
Yeah.
new stuff's all up and running?
Yeah.
So,
They're actually in the process of tearing the stacks down now. If you notice, one of them's a little shorter than the other one. It's coming down. First stack, I think that's a Unit 2 side of the old plant. It's coming down first. They're saying about a year to tear each stack down, but after the coal gets gone, the plant will be demolished.
there's some potential business opportunity for, the county in that, especially for younger entrepreneurs, to kind of keep revenue coming back into the county to
It
offset
is.
some of that too.
It is. I mean, I don't know what happened since COVID started, but there is a shortage of workforce. These these unions are strange across the country. I mean, there's so much work going on that, I mean, I think you could go out there today and be working tomorrow if you wanted a job. But I don't know if it's, I don't know what happened since COVID, but our workforce is, I don't know what happened. It ain't as good as it was.
They got too many stimulus checks, that's what.
I probably so, but there is a shortage of workers. I talked to some of the union folks and they're just about begging for people, to work. They're actually paying more money. They're offering better benefits or still just can't get people, but actually I met with the guy that's putting the RV park, a little, not RV or whatever, the park down here across from elementary school, and they're actually putting 191 sites in, camping sites. I met with him last Thursday, Mayor Bailey here from the city. I asked him, I said, well, when they get done, this company actually follows Kiewit. Kiewit is the one building the gas plant. And they actually follow them around. Every site they go to, when they start a big job, they come in there and buy a little land and they put these sites in for people to rent, to stay, because there's no housing. Some of these people are having to drive from Nashville here because but they're gonna be, they're fixing to start leasing to those people. But I asked him, I said, well, what are you gonna do when the gas plant's done? I said, are y'all gonna move out or what? He said, well, we got a lot of options. He said, we got 3 or 4 options, but he said, we're actually gonna stay here for a while. He said, because the demolition of the coal-fired plant, he said, that could probably take 3 to 4 years. So we'll be here, and he said that he had actually had a couple of people that actually came to them and wanted to buy it after they left. He said they wanted to buy it and put it into a permanent leasing, but they wouldn't be 191 sites, it'd be about half of that, they said, about half. So that is good. I mean, it's good. Our economy, the county economy, I mean, I don't know if you go around one morning or not, but our little, like Southern Service or store down there on the highway, that places are swamped with people. I mean, and they're not used to that. They haven't had that in years, but I think all of our people are doing pretty good, because these people that come in here, they're buying food, they're buying gas, and I don't drink, but they're buying their beer too. And that's their business. They're making the money, they can spend it what they want to, as long as they do it on their own. But it will help us. You'll see some improvement in sales tax and stuff in the next couple of years. But I hate the idea of the coal-fired plant leaving. I do. Not just because I work there. I just see the benefits to the county. I mean, to the economy and the county. But getting back to our impact payment, one thing that our budget committee met in December, and these three commissioners here are on the budget committee, I know, but we paid a loan off. The county had a loan. We actually voted unless we'll vote on in January, but our budget committee sent it to pay this loan off, and I think that's good business. Get out of debt as much as you can, and we've done that. We've actually paid on some loans since we come in here. We actually they made a motion to give, for Irish Day is a big day for Houston County. I mean, it's one day a year, but it's really a whole week of it. I mean, but it's a big deal. We get a lot of tourism stuff from that. A lot of people. I mean, you got a population of 8,400 people, and you cram 30,000 in there one day. That's a big deal. But they actually made the motion to give the chamber, which I don't think we've ever done that. They made a motion to give them $5,000. It costs a lot of money I was actually in the chamber meeting the other day, and I think they spent $10,000 or $11,000 just on advertisement for the Irish Day. So that, and the Shriners they come, without the Shriners, you wouldn't have near the parade you got. So they actually gave $1,000 to buy their dinner and breakfast. It cost about $2,500 to feed them. That's what it's been costing the last few years, but the county commission, and I think that was good, to do that. We gave, the desk commissions over here, we actually gave them $10,000 for food, because they are struggling with food. If you don't believe they are, go over when they're giving the turkeys away and look at the lines of cars. I mean, a lot of people, they've got more people coming to get food and they're running short. So the commission actually gave them $10,000 to buy food with for the citizens. And they actually gave them another 10, or going to give them another 10 to buy them a building to store to put it in. So, you know, people can say, well, you need to spend it here, you need to spend it there, but you know what? When you're spending on something like that, you're spending on people, you're benefiting more people, local people. And, you know, we got our opioid committee. We've actually got our first time we've ever had an opioid committee, and we're getting opioid money from the state through. We're probably getting $80,000 to $100,000 a year, and to spend on projects across the county. They really want you to spend your money in your county, because every county in the state gets money. Every county. But we've actually, in the past, we gave like $20,000, the commission did, to, they're building a home in Burns, Tennessee, which that's not in Houston County, but we do have an agreement with them that they will let, if we have somebody that's got an opioid problem or something, we can send our people there to that facility. And they were okay with us doing that, but we've actually tried to spend it. We've had a couple of little programs. We've given out shirts for our trunk or treat over here, and the commissioners have been there doing that. And you know, you spend $5,000 or $6,000 for shirts. You know what? If you touch one person, is it worth it? Probably, absolutely. If you save one person from opioids, a big deal. I mean, especially in the rural counties. I mean, I've actually got numbers, but I don't have them with me tonight. But opioids are, Tennessee is the third worst state in the nation for opioids. The third worst, and we're not the biggest state in the country. I know there's a lot more than 3 states that are bigger than us, but we do have a big problem here. East Tennessee, I actually got those numbers today. They had 3,800 deaths from opioids last year. That's a lot. Or is the Houston County Commission and myself going to stop opioids? Absolutely not. As long as there's money in it. The thing that I don't want to preach about drugs. I've never smoked a marijuana cigarette in my life. Don't even know what it's like. Don't want to know. But bad part about drugs to me is that guy that's selling those drugs, he doesn't care if that child's that tall. If he's got $5, he'll take his money. He'll sell him some drugs. And he doesn't care if he gets hooked on them. I do. I do care about that child, even if he ain't mine. I still care about him. And I can put a chain on my wrist and tie it to him, and he'll be straight as long as I got him. But now when I let him loose, he may do what he wants to. But I'm sure going to preach against it, and I hope everybody else preaches against it. I don't think it's a good thing, but I don't want to harp on it a whole lot. But I do. I'm not for drugs at all. I think it's a bad thing on our hope. It's a big deal, and I do think a lot of them are coming across the border. These drugs are coming from China, Mexico, and everywhere else. But you know, will you agree with sealing the border or not? you're gonna have to stop them somehow. You're gonna have to put a hurt on them or something, but I don't know what the answer is, but I don't wanna talk your head off, like I said, and talk. I will say that, and I don't wanna toot my own horn, I promise you, I'm nothing. I rely on these guys, they tell me I work for them. But, it makes me feel good to know that, we have a good relationship with our elected officials. I mean, I have they might disagree with me, but I think we've got a great relationship with our representative, our state senator, and our 2 U.S. senators. And the reason I'm saying it, I got a phone call back in August, and my wife hates politics. She'll tell you right now, she hates politics. She absolutely hates politics. But she doesn't love me every day. I mean, she doesn't like me every day, but she does love me. So she kind of goes, she knows that I like politics, and I do like politics. I think I've seen our politics change a lot. One guy asked me, said, well, what year did you vote first? I said, 1982. He said, was it like in 82, was it like it is today? I said, no, not at all. But I said, he said, well, what's the difference? I said, there wasn't as much money then. In 82, there was no money like there is today. Now money controls everything. You can buy anything. I say this all the time, and I'll stick by this. You can buy anything you want to in this country if you got enough money, except Jesus Christ. He's the only thing you can't buy. But if you got enough money, you can get what you want. And that's what's happened to our politicians. And I will say that on both sides, Republican and Democrat. They're being controlled by money. These lobbyists are paid a good price. These companies hire these lobbyists, and they're there for a reason. And they'll do whatever they can to get that vote, even if it takes favors or whatever. But I do like our politics, and I actually got a phone call in August from our U.S. Senator, Mr. Haggerty. And I thought he was joking when he called and told me who it was, but it wasn't. He wasn't a joke. So he actually invited me and my wife to Washington. And he wanted us to come to Tennessee Tuesday, they call it. So I asked her if she wanted to go, and she said, not really. She said, but if you want to go, we'll go. So,
Yeah, pretty much.
so we got on the plane and went. So it was a great experience. I mean, seriously, and it meant a lot to me to be, I mean, I don't think we've ever had a mayor, and I'm sure not bragging about me, but I do have a great relationship with them. But whether you believe them or agree with them or agree with what they say, at least they had enough to call. And he could have called anybody else in the country, in the state, he wanted to, but he called me. I was the only mayor from the state of Tennessee there. And we had a great roundtable meeting with other U.S. senators. I was actually fortunate to meet 6 or 7. I met Mr. Johnson from Wisconsin, Mr. Cotton from Arkansas. I met Miss Warren from Boston, Massachusetts, and I met, whether you like him or not, I met Mr. Schiff. I actually got pictures with all of them. And, but we actually talked about a lot of people at the table. There was about 7 people from across the nation, and we all had a lot in common. They were all from rural areas too. And we all had the same concerns, and, you know, I really don't have a lot of concerns. I feel like we're pretty blessed, but the only concern I have is Houston County, these 3 commissioners are competing with Davidson County too. We don't get a break because we're a small population. We pay the same price for services as they do. And it kind of puts us on a bad playing field sometimes. You're competing. And that's what I actually told them. I said, I got a county next to me, Montgomery County, got 250,000 people in it. But I don't get a break because I got 8,400. I have to pay the same price for services they do. But does it hurt me? It probably hurts me worse than it does them, but we are good. But anyway, just get, you know, whether you like politics or not, it means a whole lot to me when we had the flood back in April, May, the Thursday morning when I came to work after Wednesday, my phone rang on the way to work. And I told my wife, I said, you won't believe who called me. And she said, no. I said, Marsha Blackburn. I said, she called me. I said, whether you believe what they tell you or not, she said, I just want to reach out to you. If y'all got problems, I can help you on the federal end if you need help. And I said, I think we're okay. But at least she called. At least she called. But actually, Mr. Haggerty called me on Christmas Eve, and he wished me, and he said, I wish Houston County Merry Christmas. That's never happened. But he told me, he said, I'll see you on Irish Day. I'm going to walk through the parade with you. I said, well, we'll find out. We walked through it 3 years ago, me and him did. So he says he's coming back this year, and we'll find out. But he said, I look forward to being there on Irish Day. But that's about all I got. I mean, I know I ain't told you a whole lot, but is everything good in the county? No, we still have our issues. We do have our issues. We got lawsuits pending against the county on a couple of things. We got our nursing home lawsuit been going on for 10 years. Is it gonna get settled one of these days? I don't know when, but
Is that a county nursing home or is that a private nursing home?
There was a deal, wasn't
it was actually a private, that's when, it's a long, kind of a long story. When the county actually first got into the hospital business, the nursing home was running it at the time, and then everything it's a long story. I don't know if anybody ever know the whole truth what happened. We have our side to tell, and they have theirs. That's the reason there's a lawsuit. But there is a lawsuit against the county over that. They feel like we owe them money. And as of now, we do, according to the law, we do owe them money, but we've appealed it. We actually won the case first time, the county did, but they appealed, and they got a judge to overrule our judge. Our judge sided with Houston County, but he got overruled with appeals, and that's what we've done. We've just sent them back the same favor they give us. And bad part about lawsuits, only people make money is the lawyers. They're doing pretty good. But, you know, I will say this, as a county, put good people in charge of what you got, or the best people you know. And that's the reason I look at the commissioners. We got a lot of good things that happen in the county. We got a chamber. I mean, we got a Rotary. I've got a Rotary president here tonight. Rotary does a lot for Houston County. But it's not one individual in the county. No individual stands out with a big spotlight on him. It's everybody in Houston County. And I think as long as we stay that way, we're good. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to try to keep the best people in the right position. And if I don't know something, I don't mind asking. I don't mind calling the commissioners. I've called them all, asked them something before. But that's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to jump and act. Sometimes we have to ask. But you know, heads up to all these three in here, and I got 11 more that's not here, but Mr. Howard he's our budget chairman, and he tells me how dumb I am every March when we start budget talk. He really tells me how dumb I am, so that's okay. I don't mind being dumb. I kind of like it. But thank you a lot, and if you got a question, I'll try to answer it. If you don't.
Was you going to speak on the school?
Oh, I actually forgot. Yeah, that's something I was.
Briefly?
I'm sorry. My best friend is the chairman of the school board, and he's like a brother to me. Probably better than me and him. Probably get along better than most brothers do. But the school system last year was really having a tough time with grades and stuff. But if you look, this is what's happened this year. Last year, our high school was a D on the grade. This year they're a C, December of '24. The middle school was a D, this year they're a C. Tennessee Ridge was a C, and they're a B this year. Erin Elementary School was a F last year, and they're a B this year. So things have really turned around in our school systems, and we got a new director, and I'm not saying it's the director doing it all, but I like Miss Chris when she was in there, and I like Scott too, but our grades have definitely improved, and if you see somebody, please tell them, because last year when the grades were bad, I was hearing everybody, well, not everybody, but I heard a lot of people, I call them Facebook people, they were really giving the school down the road, but I really haven't seen a lot of good comments since the grades has come up. So, don't always think of the bad stuff, think of the good things too, because the good things outnumber the bad 9 to 1, always. But any questions? I'll try to answer them, I promise you. If not, thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Like I said, I'm nothing, but I'm a human being, just like everybody else.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Brake. We'll see you again next year, hopefully. Our February meeting is show and tell. If you've never been to a historical society meeting for show and tell, it's a treat. You never know what someone is going to bring. It will be unique. It will not necessarily be old, but it will be unique. We invite you to attend. It's 7 o'clock here, February the 11th. In March, we will not have a meeting. We support the Irish festivities. In April, we have Betsy Ligon. Her speech will be on the first female mayor. So, Joy, you might want to show up for that as well. In June, we host the Stewart County Historical Society. We have Diane Luton Blum and her cousin Mike Luton, They will give a talk on Dr. O.S. Luton. Dr. Luton was a physician here, and he's from Potneck, which is in Stewart County. We have Dan Osbrook speaking in August. We have Melissa Barker giving us an update on the archives in November. And in December, we have our annual Houston County Historical Society Christmas dinner, food, and fellowship. We have 4 slots open, so if any of you have a program you'd like to present, let us know. We'll see if we can work you in, and we'd be glad to have you. And that's all I have, and if there's a motion to adjourn, we'll hope to see you in February at 7 o'clock here.
So moved.
Okay, adjourn.